Steele. Welcome to Steele Strong Podcast Season 2. I'm sitting here with my 3 sons.
What's up, everybody? I'm Isaiah Steele.
Hey, what's up? I'm Isaac Steele.
What's good as Irish Steele.
And listen, we got a lot of things to cover. First of all, we've been out for the last, 6 weeks, I want to say. Six, 7 weeks.
Yeah, 7
so
weeks.
A lot has transpired that we need to cover on today. Hopefully we can get it done in the next 60 minutes. First things first, we're going to start in the NFL. The Pittsburgh Steelers have officially made the playoffs. We play this Sunday in Buffalo, in the Tundra, going up there to go ahead and take on Josh Allen and them boys. They're hot right now, but so are we. Shoot, we done won 3 in a row with Rudolph leading our sleigh, if you will. We're excited for it, man. What are y'all thinking as far as this Sunday?
Well, first of all of us at the beginning of the year, we declared that we would win at least 10 to 11 games, and we did. Now, let me tell you, I think we probably had one of the ugliest seasons ever. I mean, it was a bipolar year for sure. Just ups and downs. I mean, we dropped 3 in a row. Then we've here recently won 3 in a row after going with our 3rd string quarterback. So it's been my mind has just been all over. They've got me. I think I had a concussion this season. Just watching them, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, I think we got a chance. I know we're favored to lose against the Bills, but I think if we go out, play some good defense, score a couple of touchdowns, and if Mason Rudolph stays hot, we can actually make some things happen. So we'll see Sunday.
Yeah. Shoot, this season's been crazy. 3 quarterbacks in 1 year. Not only that, me and Ira was talking whenever we watch a game, bro, it's just an emotional roller coaster, bro. Emotional all the time. But I'm happy for the Steelers this year. Our run game has been crazy right now. It has, and that's what's been opening up the pass game for Rudolph. And he has a good deep ball. He throws the ball deep very well. He does. So I'm excited. I think we have a shot. We just have to keep on running the ball. Sucks that we don't have TJ Watt.
That hurts.
He's
that
out.
Hurts a lot.
Grade 2 MCL sprain, if you don't know. But I think we do have a shot. The Bills are good, but they're sloppy too. They are. They've had a sloppy year. They have.
They really
have.
have.
Josh Allen's a risk taker, gunslinger. He be throwing picks left and right. So we gonna see.
He's throwing it to one of us on Sunday.
He's
He's
gonna have
guaranteed.
2 turnovers. And since the last time we talked, too, we fired Mike Canada. That was a big thing. Our OC. We were talking about that heavy, trying to get him out of there. Of course, we got we have 2 people I think trading the play calls for us now, and it's definitely helped us out. Gave us a nice fresh start. Of course, we tried Mr. Trubisky after Kenny Pickett got hurt. He wasn't that guy. Moved on to Mason Rudolph, and we won 3 straight. So, it does suck that TJ Watt is hurt, but, it's nice that we play in Buffalo in cold weather. We're a cold weather team. So, we're not like the Miami Dolphins playing the Chiefs. We definitely have a fighter's chance, man. We might, get a lucky knockout. Hopefully it happens.
And not to mention, we went 5-1 in the AFC North. That's impressive. That conference is the toughest conference in the NFL, in my opinion.
And the AFC North, this is the first time since 1932 that all 4 teams in a division won over half their games.
Wow.
Yeah, so the first time since 1932, basically 100 years since literally you could say the best division in NFL history.
Yeah, because our worst team was the Bengals. They went 9-8, which is a winning record.
Wow.
And also, too, shout out Mike Tomlin, 17 years in a row. Pittsburgh Steelers winning record. That's huge. I feel like it is talked about now. He's getting his respect now, but that's a big deal for us because him being an African-American coach is important. But winning 17 seasons in a row with a winning season, that's very. I know the Cardinals is hating on us. They ain't never experienced nothing even close to that. The Cleveland Browns hating on us. They ain't never experienced nothing close to that. So shout out to Coach T. And shout out to all the boys, man. We're rooting for us going up into Buffalo this Sunday. Favored to lose by 10, but we rebuke that in Jesus' name. We're going to go up there and make some things happen. Speaking of losing, man, what is going on with the Philadelphia Eagles? I know the last time we had a podcast, I believe they were at 10-1. Since then, I think they've lost 3 of their last 4. Limped into the playoffs, didn't win a division. They allowed the Cowboys to come back, win that division. Now Jalen Hurts has to play an away game in Tampa Bay this Sunday against Baker Mayfield and the boys. Well, do y'all think they have a chance? Y'all think they done? What's going on?
Man, I just think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers conference, what is it, the AFC South? NFC South is terrible for one. But for 2, I honestly feel like the Buccaneers have a shot. I don't know if y'all seen Jalen Hurts' finger. I don't know how he's going to throw that football. His finger looked broken.
It was on the throwing hand.
Yep, he threw the ball into somebody's other hand trying to bat the ball down.
So and it's unfortunate. I've had that same injury before, And when you have that, it's very subject to pop out again. So don't be surprised this Sunday if it's out again.
Yeah.
Just if anything touches it or if he steps on somebody, it's a problem.
Yeah. Also, AJ Brown got hurt that Sunday. Devontae Smith didn't play last Sunday either. So they lost one of their safeties too. They've been getting hit with that injury bug. So I think the Buccaneers have a chance, especially with their defense. They have a real good defense. So we'll see what happens. I think Mariota might end up having to finish the game off like you said, Zay. Because I don't know. It's just crazy. It's like the last time we were up here talking, we thought the Eagles was the truth. The truth. Like we thinking it's the Eagles. It's their year. Nope, they just fell off a cliff quick. So it should be interesting. They saying that old boy on the hot seat too. The head coach, man.
Sirianni?
They just got to the Super Bowl, but hey, if this season goes bad, they might have
you
to
can't
make a
lose
transition.
games in Philadelphia, man.
No,
it's a sports city.
They fired Andy Reid.
They did.
Andy Reid.
sure did.
Andy Reid was there 10, 15 years, but they don't care if you get us to conference championships. We don't care if we go to Super Bowls. We need to hold them trophies up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think that Philly's going to rally together. They'll beat the Buccaneers. I think they're war proven. They've been there, done that. They obviously made it to the Super Bowl last year.
Right.
So I think they'll figure it out. Will they play Saturday or Sunday?
I believe
Monday.
Monday.
Monday night.
Oh, great.
Which is dope. Shout out to the NFL for adding that Monday night game.
We
man,
love
for
it.
the playoffs.
We
That's
love
dope.
it.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
They need to add a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
They will eventually. They're gonna have it all days of the week.
Maybe next year.
Because the spirit of depression is coming February, I want to say the 13th.
The 13th.
Yeah, because I think the Super Bowl's on either the 11th or the 12th.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah, February
And
11th.
that Monday, we all going to a depression because we got to wait all the way to August,
man.
for preseason.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I'm looking forward. It's going to be some really interesting games coming up. And who I'm really got to give a shout out to is that Joe Flacco.
Man,
And what he's doing,
shout out, Joe.
what he's doing with the Cincinnati, not Cincinnati, but Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
It's amazing that he was sitting at home
At the crib.
and got a call from his agent saying, "Hey, I just got a call from Cleveland.
Yep.
They want to bring you in. Are you in shape?" And he's like, "I'm ready."
Right,
And to see him
crazy.
hanging out after games with his kids,
Yeah.
they look almost grown.
Right, they about to start playing.
Kids my age.
Got to play against his son next week.
Right.
They call him Sleepy Joe.
Yeah.
They showed that. You see the clip of him falling asleep on the sideline?
I did.
And he's sitting on. They said he was sitting on them heated benches,
He was on the
man.
heated bench. He was
that's what
dozing
did
off.
it.
Yeah, but you got to remember, dude. What is he? 40? Almost
30, almost 39.
Man, I'd be dozing off on that bench
Yeah.
too. And he
Them
just got
NFL
off the
games.
couch.
Yeah.
And the game's long too.
Yeah.
Commercials,
Super long.
TV timeouts, bro.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's just funny how this dude waking up from a nap, going out there throwing a touchdown to Njoku, and then go back to sleep. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy, man. Shout out to Joe.
Yeah.
I can't lie. Shout out to Joe Flacco, but I'm rooting for them Texans, bro. I hope I don't want to see
Stroud
them. And of
ass.
course, the Browns are our division rival. I don't want to see them win.
Sure.
And the game's in Houston, and the Browns are actually favored to win that game. But
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, he's had one of the best
He
rookie
has.
years that we've seen.
Oh, yeah.
In NFL
Since
history.
Cam Newton.
Yeah, you would say,
Honestly.
or probably since Cam, straight up. So hopefully, I want to see Texans win that game. It does suck. They lost players. They lost guys like Tank Dell.
Yeah.
They lost Robert Woods. I don't know if he's playing this week, but he got hurt. So
Oh, wow.
So that's on a Saturday night.
I believe that's Saturday.
Saturday.
So
Yeah.
that should be a really good game, and don't be shocked if Houston comes out with that W.
You never know, man. It's
It'd be
at
cool.
home.
It'd be cool though. I know I don't like the Browns, but it'd be cool to see a Joe Flacco go back to Baltimore.
Yeah.
If they win that game,
That would be
they'll go
dope.
play the Ravens. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
That'd be dope to see.
And we're seeing Stafford go back to Detroit.
Yeah,
The Rams,
that's gonna be
Rams
good,
Lions
too.
game. That's gonna be another ball
Yeah.
game. So
Yep.
it's actually a dope. I like this playoff. It's a lot of
great.
storylines.
Yeah,
You
feels
know,
like it's a movie, like something.
It does,
What they
for
say,
real.
the NFL script writers. Remember, they were saying it was the NFL scripted.
It was scripted.
even
and whatnot.
McCarthy. McCarthy's playing the
Yep.
Packers, his old team. Like, it's a
McCarthy,
lot of
playing
lot
Green
of stuff
Bay.
that's happening.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. They got
It is.
we got some TV reality TV stuff going on this
Literally.
weekend in NFL world. Speaking of reality TV, man, we've had a lot of coaches lose jobs since the last time we talked. I believe there's 7 teams right now that have a coaching vacancy, but those as of recently, the big names, Mike Vrabel from the Tennessee Titans. He was there for 6 seasons. They parted ways with him. He's a great coach, but I think they just had some bad draft picks. And then the huge ones, Bill Belichick for the New England Patriots. He's officially stepped down from being the head coach, along with Pete Carroll, who has been really the juggernaut there in Seattle for the last 14 seasons. So
Facts.
the NFL already is going to look completely different next year. Which one was the biggest surprise to you guys?
Man, honestly, the Nick Saban.
Well, college.
College, NFL. But I would say Pete Carroll. I mean, I know he's getting old. Don't get me wrong, but like I'm looking right now on the screen, dude. He's had 14 seasons there, made the playoffs 10 times.
Wow,
like that's impressive. And he's got a Super Bowl under his belt. Should have 2.
Yeah,
you ask me. That stupid interception.
Run the ball.
Run the ball. Yeah, Marshawn Lynch.
That's the stupidest play ever.
But I would definitely say Pete Carroll, and also Vrabel from the Titans, because he's actually a good coach.
Yeah,
I feel like he's turned that program around to a certain extent. Yeah, they had an off year. Don't get me wrong, but I like him as a coach. He's fired up. He's defensive minded. I like what he does, and the Titans haven't been a pushover.
No,
they're still good. I mean, they beat the Dolphins a few weeks ago,
and they helped us get into the playoffs this past Sunday. Thank you to Mike Vrabel for beating the Jags, because if they did not, the Dolphins disappointed us that night.
They sure did.
But I would say the most surprising to me though was Pete Carroll, hands down.
Sure.
I thought he had another 3-4 in him.
Yeah, we knew the Bill Belichick thing was coming down the pipe.
Yeah,
right.
You know, he's really been exposed since Tom Brady moved on. You know, when you start looking at his record with Tom Brady being gone, he has a losing record. And one of the former players came out and literally made it very clear that he is not the GOAT when it comes to coaches. He said he's the most accomplished coach, you know, that's ever done it. But he didn't believe that he was the GOAT. Because, again, we're seeing how without Tom Brady, it's a whole different story out there in New England. So that wasn't a surprise. But I'm with Isaac. Definitely the Pete Carroll. I did not think I was going to be hearing about that on a Tuesday or Wednesday morning, that he was going to be stepping down. So that was definitely a shocker.
Facts. I would say Mike Vrabel, honestly, the coach of the Titans. I know the last 2 years have been down, but 2020 season they were in the conference championship. They beat Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. They were game away from the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. So. And of course, Derrick Henry. You can kind of look at the Titans' decline with Derrick Henry's decline.
Right.
These last 2 seasons, I think they've lost the majority, almost all their games. Like they haven't done it. That's why they end up getting Will Levis in the draft last year because of that. And Will Levis, he's a guy. He looked pretty promising. Yeah, he got hurt, but we saw him against the what was a primetime game? I forgot who they were playing. But like you could see flashes.
I mean, he played good against us.
Exactly, even against us.
The Steelers.
And you could see flashes against not only us but another team we saw too. Like he was out there balling. But and also Vrabel played in the NFL, defensive-minded guy. Hard-nosed coach. Even we were rooting for the Titans this weekend so the Steelers can get into the playoffs. Yeah. He was saying all week in the press conferences, we don't care that we're 5-11. Right. We're coming out here. We're trying to win. We don't care about none of that. And guys played for him. And also too, I saw a video of Mike Vrabel recently of when they traded AJ Brown to the Eagles for like 2 draft picks back in like 2020, 2021 season. You could see his face he was not with that trade. Because the war rooms on draft, you can see the team. You can see everybody's reaction. You could see like when they put the flashes trade, you could see him like walk off like y'all really did this. I mean, he didn't want to do it. And we see AJ Brown in Philly. That boy been nothing but spectacular.
Like the second coming of
T.O.
Megatron.
He been cooking. So Mike Vrabel's definitely the surprise for me, and he'll land somewhere. And especially in yes, the league's turn offensive, but a defensive-minded coach, you can't put no money on that, And defense wins championships ultimately, so he'll end up somewhere. Might be New England because he played for the Patriots. So
I think all roads lead back to New England for him. He knows the Patriot way. He's a younger coach, younger-minded. He can. I feel like he can connect with these guys on a certain level that Bill just couldn't anymore. At 72 years old, I watched this documentary with Tom Brady a couple months ago called Man in the Arena. It's a 10-episode documentary that goes through all 10 Super Bowls that he was in. And one of the things that I knew that Bill was going to be done because one of the receivers on there said, we worked for Bill, but we played for Tom.
Yeah, I saw that.
To see that. Listen, if your players aren't going to play for you anymore, and it's just more of a working relationship, you're not going to win games. I mean, that's just the bottom line.
He said we worked for Bill.
We worked for Bill, but we played for Tom. And so when Tom left, they had no one else to play for. That's why the Patriots have looked like the New Orleans Aints from back in the back in the 80s.
Yeah,
the last couple. They have not looked like the Patriots that we've all seen and grown up.
They've become the armpit of the NFL.
So that was the least surprising for me. Jesus. The most surprising is Vrabel for sure, because like I said, I don't know any other coach right now that you can put in that place and say he's better than Mike Vrabel for for that organization. But word on the street is that him and the GM ain't been getting along.
Yeah.
Ain't been seeing eye to eye.
You could tell by that AJ Brown trade. They weren't.
The GM and him never got along, and the GM looked at Mike like, you're not my guy anyway. And Vrabel's like, well, get me out of here. So believe this, he'll be putting on that red and blue jacket coming this next season.
That's some big shoes to fill, bro.
Yeah. That's listen, we're praying for him. And
they called it Black Monday. We definitely saw Black Monday, but we even before Black Monday, before they started firing coaches Monday morning, they were firing them during the season.
Yeah, like
I think there's at least 3 coaches that got fired during the season.
There was
the Chargers coach got fired during the season.
Raiders,
Panthers,
and the
Panthers coach.
Yeah. I think. And speaking of the Raiders, my guy needs to get that job too.
Antonio
Pierce.
I don't think they're giving it to him. He actually interviewed with the what team
that.
was
Getting,
I forgot what team it was, but somebody asked to speak with him. I forgot what team it was.
Wow.
But so I don't know what they're gonna do. They should. I think they should rock with him, man.
I think they should.
The players like him.
It would be an abomination.
They gravitate to him.
If they did not, those players are playing for Antonio Pierce. Plus, he has a great reputation. I grew up watching him play in the league. He was actually decent.
You know, he coached Long Beach Poly when we played him back in high school. Ira and I.
Yep. So we saw him come up. By the time we were in high school to now, he went from high school head coach to interim NFL head coach, and and we all know it's a players' league. I'm sorry. Yes, you want the guy who's the schematics and the new this and new. We get that, but at the end of the day, like we need a guy like a Mike Tomlin. A guy that, of course, Mike Tomlin's a defensive-minded coach and a great coach, but at the end of the day, that's Coach T.
Yeah,
right. Sure. People play for Coach T.
That's Coach T. The players like him. They can talk to him like how we talk to each other. So a guy like Pierce, especially with that Raiders, that that rough culture. He's an LA dude. Of course, the Raiders. You think about the All Black. I think about Eazy-E and the Raiders hats back in the day. You think of the
Ice
old
Cube,
school,
NWA,
Ice Cube, NWA. You think of the rough-nosed Raiders. I think he could bring that edge back to the squad.
Absolutely, for sure.
But we're gonna see, man. This offseason, obviously, we got playoffs coming up, but this offseason is gonna be real interesting. A lot of twists and turns, in the NFL. We're gonna sit back and relax and enjoy these playoffs, though, these last couple of weeks. As we wrap up the segment for the NFL, man, who do y'all got in the Super Bowl now? I know we made our picks in the beginning of the season, but what are we picking now with just these teams left? 14 teams left in the playoffs.
Man. Wait, the 2 teams that
who's going to the Super Bowl?
Who's going?
Yep.
Man, I know Zay don't like this, but the Ravens and the Niners. I think that's what it's going to be, bro.
Ravens-Niners.
I know it's typical, but I just know it's going to be Ravens-Niners.
I'd agree. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be the best 2 teams. They're going to rise above it all. I think it's going to be Ravens-Niners in Vegas. Rematch for the Christmas game. I think that's going to be a great Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Steelers and the Niners.
I believe it.
Hey, now.
My faith.
Hey.
No, but literally,
I believe.
That's my faith. But if I'm speaking, common sense. I hate to say it, but the Ravens are really playing at a high level.
Yeah.
I like Lamar Jackson. Obviously, they're in our division. I would rather them win the whole thing than the Niners, because if the Niners win, they'll have 6 Super Bowls just like the Steelers and the Niners, and I don't want to see this 3-way tie pop off.
Yep.
So I would say the Ravens are looking good. Obviously, they lost last week, but they benched everybody. So we actually beat the Ravens twice this year, which was great. I mean, like you guys said, we finished 5-1 in our division and had a horrible year. Again, we had the worst 10-7 season I've ever seen.
It was
I've been following the Steelers since the 70s.
It was like,
man,
what do they call that? Limping across the finish line.
That's the ugliest 10-win team probably in history.
I think if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, I think with our 10-7 record, we still got outscored.
Yeah.
The whole year.
The whole year.
Yeah,
because
we got blew out a few times.
Yeah, the Niners embarrassed this week.
So
won?
Come again?
The Niners, when they embarrassed us week 1, I think that was a 21-point loss.
The Colts beat us by multiple touchdowns. We were up 13-0.
We lost 13-31 that game.
Texans ran us.
Yep, the Texans
ran us 30-6, just like the Niners.
That is so
every game we won was by the skin of our teeth, essentially.
And I think we were outscored by like 20 points for the whole year and still finished with a winning record.
Hey, now that's what we do.
That's crazy.
Hey, man.
That's what we do. That's what we do. Steeler way.
The Steeler Nation, baby. My playoff prediction, I think out of the AFC, unless something goes horribly wrong, I think the Ravens come out and they go and represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Now, here's the crazy prediction I got in the NFC. I don't think anybody wants to play the Rams right now. I think the Rams. I think the Rams going to Detroit this weekend and they get a big win out of there. Even though Detroit's had a great year,
Right.
I do not want to see them. Cooper Kupp had a week off last week, was able to adjust. That guy Puka Nacua, whatever his name is going crazy.
He is great.
They found him from some island somewhere. That dude is balling. And then they running back too is nice. I think they go in there and they upset. And as much as I hate to say this, man, I think it's going to be Ravens Cowboys in the Super Bowl. I think the Niners get upset at some point. They're going to have a home game, probably against the Cowboys. Cowboys went in there and got embarrassed earlier this season. I think they fix it. I like the way they're playing. CeeDee Lamb is tough. Now they're not going to win the Super Bowl, but in my prediction is going to be Cowboys Ravens.
Man, no, I feel you. I was gonna say that too earlier. I was gonna say, don't sleep on Dallas, bro.
You
You just can't trust them, bro. I'm sorry, man.
No, of course not.
You just can't trust them. That's the only thing you just can't trust Dallas. And I rock with. Like, I really like Dak. That's one guy I used to get on a lot. Yeah. But sitting back watching football, getting older. Of course, I was 16, 15 when he first came to the Cowboys. Right. So. Being 24 years old, I can sit back and watch a game. Dak Prescott is a good quarterback.
Sure, he is.
They have good Micah Parsons is a baller. Of course they lost Trayvon Diggs, stuff like that. But man, I think them going to San Francisco, bro. Like I just Cowboys can't fool me, bro. They've been losing my whole life. Straight up. But they have a fighter's chance though.
They have a chance.
They definitely
have a
do.
chance.
It'd be dope seeing something new, bro.
Something different. You know what I mean?
Because
it's just like the Niners just have it way too set up, too pretty, man. And I just, for whatever reason, I just think the Niners are going to Niner, man.
It's crazy. The Niners, bro. The Niners, they should be sitting on 2-3 rings the last 5 years.
Oh, easily.
They should be.
That they had.
Yes, since 2020, since they lost.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even with Kaepernick.
Yeah, from Kaepernick to let's say Kaepernick to last year, like they should be at 3 rings.
Yeah.
They just
Wasn't it last year where all their quarterbacks got hurt?
Yeah. They had McCaffrey playing quarterback.
And then
of course 2020 they lost in the Super Bowl to Mahomes. Were up 10 in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes left. Lost that game. I think 21 the COVID year, I don't know what happened that year, but I know 22 they lost in the conference championship to the Rams. And old boy dropped that pick.
He dropped that pick.
He dropped the pick to seal it. And then of course last year, man, Purdy gets hurt. The backup gets hurt. Jimmy G didn't suit up. Trey Lance didn't suit up. It was all bad.
Like I said, I think the Niners are gonna Niner, man. That's just unfortunately right now. I think they just gonna some way somehow they're gonna fold, just like the Cowboys. Kind of somehow some way they're gonna fold. So we're gonna see though. I think
Baltimore's to lose. It's definitely Baltimore's.
It's Baltimore's to lose. If they stay healthy, I would be shocked if they didn't win the Super Bowl.
I agree with that.
And y'all know I'm an avid Raven hater. I hate to say it. I call them the Rat Birds. So I don't like them, but they are the best team in the league right now.
They are.
So we'll see. Speaking of really quick, we have a new segment that we want to talk about that we're going to start here on Still Strong Podcast. Of course, we cover sports, but we want to start a new segment called What's in the World, which is basically what is going on right now currently in the world. Something that we didn't have a chance to touch on. It happened about a week ago. We have to talk about Cat Williams.
Lord.
Cat Williams had a situation this past week, had a 2-hour and 46-minute podcast that he shot with Shannon Sharp called Club Shay Shay. If you haven't heard about it, you've probably been living under a rock. But there was a lot of things said in those 2 hours and 46 minutes. I had a chance to watch it. I've watched multiple parts of it as well, on top of watching the whole thing all the way through. But Cat, to me, is telling the truth. What do y'all think? I think he's telling the truth about people stealing his jokes. I think he's telling the truth about Hollywood. I think he's telling the truth about, he said some things about Kanye West I think are true. I mean, dude was up there spitting facts for 2 hours and 46 minutes. And it rubbed people the wrong way, some people, but for me, it was pure entertainment and hilarious because he's one of the funniest people to walk on planet Earth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got a chance to watch about an hour and 45 minutes. I still need to catch that last hour, but I would say, and I've been hearing some of the rebuttals of some of the people he was throwing under the bus. I would say he's probably telling about 85% truth.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
the only thing I think that wasn't true is he said he read 3,000 books in a year or something. That's crazy.
And he said he ran a 4 sub 3.
He said he ran a 4.3.
He said if he didn't run it, no. He was moving. That way he was moving in that gym. It was like a 4.47. It was a 4.47 on an iPhone hand time.
Come on. It wasn't laser time.
It wasn't no laser.
And it was on a basketball court.
He's my age. I think he's about 52.
Dad, I love you, but if you try to run that that fast. That hammy gone.
Ooh, they falling off the bone.
Remember, I raced him in the front yard years ago. I had to go to the hospital.
Man, he's black and blue.
It was on Thanksgiving morning. My dad goes, boy, I bet I'll beat you in the race. I was like, no, you can't, Dad. Then we lined up. My dad dusted me at the finish line. All I heard was,
hey,
boy,
that boy at the hospital Thanksgiving morning.
That boy leg black and blue. Oh my God.
He came back home on crutches off a pulled hammy. I said,
I had to preach that Sunday. I remember you to preach. Jacked up.
I just stood on the podium. Turn your Bibles. Wasn't no moving around that
He
Sunday.
walk down on stage.
None of that, man. Yeah. None of that.
You was moving though.
He was. He was moving. The only thing, the turkey wasn't the only thing cooked that day, boy. That hammy got cooked.
Listen, real talk.
But I say that all to say, man, he was moving. Cat Williams was running in that video on the basketball court with the shirt.
3,000 books though in 1 year.
Well, you know,
I'm like, come on, man.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of books.
That's a lot of books.
He definitely probably is an avid reader, but you know, I would say I like the interview. I definitely think there was some fabrication. But you know, overall, everything else he said though, man, he was spitting that real. That's why that's why it resonated to a lot of people. That's why we're all talking about it. Literally, I think it got like 35 million views on YouTube already. A week or two, or it's been like a week now.
Yeah, 35 million.
Something like that already. Like it's the most viewed like interview on YouTube. It's smashing all the records, all that stuff.
Wow.
So and because people want the real, especially nowadays. And what he said was real. And you know, and he was giving comedians props. Like he was saying, you know, guys he talked about, they're funny guys. You know, I respect their art, but I don't respect them as men. Straight up. So, you know, I think two things can be true. You know, Cat is funny. You know, he did pick the right. It was the perfect time. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he knew.
Cat's a smart guy. He's calculated. You know, one of the most, I would say, underrated comedians of I think all time. I think he's one of the best of this generation.
Yeah.
You know, me thinking you got, of course, you got Chappelle this generation. You got Cat Williams. Of course, you could even say
you have to throw like a Kevin Hart in there.
Oh yeah, just off of numbers.
Just off of numbers.
Numbers.
Absolutely.
But people forget, bro. Cat was that guy.
Yeah.
And then he kind of like he kind of disappeared, but in his own way though.
Yeah.
You know, while the same time Cat Williams was at his peak was when Kevin Hart was creeping up, and then Kevin started taking those roles. You know, even like Soul Plane, stuff like that. You know, those could have been roles that Cat could have had easy, but Cat wasn't going for the industry stuff. So you know, it went out that way. Him and Kevin Hart, they gotta squash that beef.
They gotta squash it because Kevin Hart even tweeted too. He was like, stop hating on me, bro. Like this and that. My new movie drops in 8 days.
And
like
I saw him on talking too. Like he does like a TNT little thing, like a game. He was talking, trying to crack little jokes. It's like lame. It's just petty. It's like, bro, y'all grown men. Y'all talking on the phone. Y'all talk in person, whatever. It shouldn't be I shouldn't have to get my stuff off on social media or on a platform like Club Shay Shay.
Right.
If y'all got some real beef, talk about it like men. Y'all ain't got to be buddy after. Y'all ain't got to get drinks, do a walk in the park. Y'all just hand y'all stuff. But I think what Cat Williams did, I think it was perfect timing. I think you know, a lot of going on in the world, and he kept it funky. That's why, you know, it resonated with so many people. So
Right.
You know,
if they ever decide to squash that you're gonna know God is real, because I don't see that. I don't see that coming down the pipe. I'm gonna rededicate my life, and I'm the senior founder, pastor.
Yeah, there's no way. Especially Cat, funny dude, hilarious. And a good guy from what I've seen. I mean,
Smart
he's very
dude.
generous, very smart.
Everyone says he's generous. A lot of people came out and said that he gave a line.
You know,
lot of
Boosie,
people.
when he was locked up and he came out, he said Cat Williams ran up to him after one of his shows. After he invited him, he ran up to his car door and like threw him like something wrapped in a towel. Man, he gave him 15 G's.
Who?
Boosie.
Cat Williams
Cat
gave
Williams
gave Boosie
15 'cause he knew it too.
He knew he was fresh
lawyer
out.
fees,
And
all that stuff.
Boosie said he had never met Cat. Ever. Never
He
met
just
him.
came to the show.
Yep.
Never met him. And gave him 15,000 just like that. So I mean, he's a good, generous guy, but I think, you know, J. Cole said it best. Pride is the devil, man. And I feel like when it comes to his pride, as far as the pride that he has towards Kevin Hart, we ain't ever seeing.
And we got to remember, most comedians, probably all, they're very emotional.
Sure.
Like worship leaders.
Yeah.
You know, they rather,
Sorry.
you know,
Like they throwing strands to the worship leaders, man.
Hey, they first cousins. You know, Yeah, man, they wear their emotions on their sleeve.
Emotional, yeah.
You know,
no one takes you seriously, you know, because you're a funny guy.
Yeah.
You kind of like the jester. They're gonna make, give me a laugh, give me a joke, so I can see what you mean.
Get up
by
there
that.
and dance. Yeah. No,
they feel like, I can see how being a comedian, you can go home at night and,
look yourself in the
it
mirror.
can get real dark.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And it didn't help either that when Cat Williams was up there, boy, he was drinking that brown.
Man,
he was drinking.
And if you're a drinker, brown will make you clown. He was clowning for 2 hours and 46 minutes.
That boy said, he said Steve Harvey looked like Mr. Potato Head.
Hey, that is the funniest thing I've heard this year.
He called him a country
bucket. He said Ante up there looking like a walrus. That had me.
When he put his legs up and had his hands like this, I said, Cat is cool.
I said, come on,
I was like, somebody to get him some water ASAP.
You damn calling now, bro.
He was roasting, bro. He said, you don't see Steve Harvey in no movies. He looked like Mr. Potato Head. That was wrong.
Then he clowned him about the toupee.
I didn't even realize that. I didn't even realize his hair was fake till I got older. I'm like, dang, it looked like real.
No, it was crazy. I had to Google after the Cat Williams thing and be like, is it really fake? Because as a kid, you just thought, you just shake his head, whatever. But did not know that was a toupee. And then he started clowning on him about how he says that his wife is his why and the reason why he made it and all this. And he's like, you said that about the first one. I'm like,
now you bringing the wives.
You pulling the wife in.
He was going a little too deep.
Cat definitely, that boy burnt all them bridges, man. He came up there. He didn't care though. He knew what he was doing. He could have easily told Shannon Sharp after, you know what, Shannon, I'm tweaking, man. Please don't air this. But he
the necklace he wore as a dharma. It's like a sign of protection.
He had the fitted jacket on.
Now y'all know my favorite.
Mac Epps in his fitted jacket fake.
Comic is Mike Epps, of course. And Mike Epps was upset because he was like, why didn't he throw me under the bus?
This his jacket was fake. He said that ain't no real Fendi. Mike Epps, too. Mike Epps funny.
Yeah, Mike's like, I got a premiere something coming out.
Right, like y'all
throw me under the bus.
Get them tickets going, man. Like the best thing that could have happened to Chris Rock was getting slapped by Will Smith. What was that, last year? Like that was the best thing for him because his tour just started with Dave Chappelle. And I'm sorry, with Kevin Hart. So I mean, it's the publicity. Whether it's what they say, all publicity is good publicity, whether it's good or bad. You know, it's in that world. You know what I mean? But I don't think we're gonna see Steve Harvey and Cat Williams touring anytime soon together.
Or Faison Love, all these guys.
Man, he went off on Faison. He was like, Faison, why you keep taking your shirt off?
Yeah, he said, is that part of your contract? You guys take your shirt off.
Jesus,
he was going in,
bro, crazy. I was like, man.
Listen, there's so many things.
Chris Tucker, he's like Chris Tucker. He's like Michael Jackson's best friend. He said Michael Jackson calls him Christmas. He said, you ever had a grown man give you a little nickname like that before?
said no.
He said, me neither. He said, ain't no grown man give me no nickname.
There's so many. We could sit here and talk about it for hours. But I will say this: Cat Williams, shout out to him for keeping it real. But some of the stuff could have been, he could have kept that in the back pocket. You talking about other people's
the delivery.
Or the delivery.
The delivery could have been better, but it is what it is. Hindsight's 2020. He knew what he was doing. Like I said, he knew. He could have told Shannon and them, "Hey, you know what? Let's put this in the vault. Let's wait a little bit."
And Shannon, he said, it was like in his podcast with Ocho. He said you should have heard Cat Williams before the interview. He was already going in before he even started. Man, yes, bro, look it up. Before the camera started rolling, he said Cat Williams is already going in. Man.
So at the end of the day, man, Cat, shout out. It was very entertaining. I'll say that, man. I got a lot of good laughs out of it, and I miss Cat.
I'm saying, like I said earlier, like Cat Williams, like the Pimp Chronicles, his old stand-ups, bro. Like that's like my childhood.
Every day I'm hustling one.
That's what I'm saying. He was on Wildin' Out when I was a kid. Like he was rapping too. He actually can rap. So he's like talented. So seeing Cat,
his IQ is 163. Einstein's was 160.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
He comes from
smart man. Williams. His IQ's a 163.
His parents are
well, he's literally a byproduct of two smart people having a kid, and he's so smart. That's why he's so witty and funny. Like you got to look at it from this standpoint. A lot of people who are quote unquote geniuses are a little bit weird or come from different places.
Yeah.
For instance, I believe Kanye West is a genius as far as musically. He's musically inclined. He can the way he hears things, writes things, does things. His fashion design thought process. But he's a weird dude.
Very much.
Cat Williams, hilarious, one of the funniest men to ever live. But he's some of the stuff he said, I'm like, that's weird. He's just a weird person. Einstein, I'm sure. I mean, if you look at pictures of Einstein with his tongue out, I know Einstein.
He didn't sleep. Like he took naps.
I know Einstein was a weird dude. So you look at these people that when you get into that different realm of intellect, you're 9 times out of 10, you kind of
have to be. You have to be off. Your brain process isn't. It's not regular.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. It's just not the same. But shout out to Cat, man.
Yeah, shout out to Cat. Well, I'm trying to give Cat his flowers because now it's messy and the drama, but like I don't want him to be remembered off just the drama and the messiness. Like this guy is one of the greatest comedians we've seen. Definitely one of the best of this generation. Definitely in my top 5, top 10 comedians all time, no question. So shout out to Cat.
He gave everybody a buzz.
He did.
And he ain't sell out either. He wasn't going with none of that industry stuff. He didn't sell out. You know Hollywood, get a little different. Get a little different up there. He ain't
real talk.
Shoot, I know y'all seen Will Smith best friend.
Oh, man.
Let me not get into that. Let's go.
Y'all can do your own research on that. This is a family-friendly show. Speaking of that, let's go jump back really quick. College football is officially over. This past Monday, we watched the Michigan Wolverines go ahead and win the Natty College Football Playoff, the last one with 4 teams in it. Want to talk about a few things. Number one, was Florida State robbed of that final playoff spot these past couple weeks? I know that was a big deal. They went undefeated. They won the ACC, and the committee still said, nope, we're going with Alabama. How do y'all feel about it?
I think they made the right decision. I think, and we all saw that because when they played Georgia, they lost, 60 to...
It was a bloodbath.
63-3.
Yeah, so they showed us who they are. In that game. And, Georgia definitely would beat Florida State. And it's unfortunate that they were on their third-string quarterback. But I think the committee did the right thing.
Yeah, they did. I think they did the right thing. I was watching that game, though, but Florida State benched everybody. They did. That's why they got blown out like that. But let me go all the way back. This is what the college football playoff should have been, in my opinion. It should have been Michigan 1. Georgia still should have stayed at 2 because, I'm sorry, they're the defending champs 2 years in a row. Texas should have been 3. Bama should have been 4. That's what I would have done personally because that UW game was kind of like we all knew. No offense to the Pac-12. They did beat Texas, but, I mean, come on now. They're not I don't know how to explain it. They're just not big up front.
You're saying that SEC ball.
That SEC ball, that Big 12 ball, that Big 10, it's just different, dude.
And we saw that. Because I really thought Washington was going to win that game, but obviously
they was moving them, bro.
They didn't even show up.
Dude, I'm telling you, Michigan was moving them boys.
They had to pass the ball. I think McCarthy got 180 passing yards. He didn't have to.
Even the beginning of the game, that big run right off the rip, I was like, oh, that's game.
You could see it.
Yeah. But back to Florida State. Sorry. I think they didn't. I think they got done wrong to a certain extent, but at the same time, I feel like the committee still made the right decision.
I hear you.
Because that third string quarterback stuff. Come on now, bro. You're not gonna win college football playoff game. You're not. If they had Jordan Travis, for sure, put him in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
They probably would have made some noise too because they got some size up front.
Or if they had a Cardell Jones type situation with Ohio State, where Cardell Jones was a third stringer, but they won the conference, and I think they ran off the last couple games and was beating teams down. So if Florida State did beat Louisville by 3 touchdowns, something like that, they would have got in.
I was gonna say you got to win with style.
But bro,
nowadays.
that Florida State Louisville game, boy, that game was terrible.
It was hard
I
to
watched
watch.
the whole thing.
What was it 9-13?
I watched the whole game, bro.
Garbage.
I was like, this is bad. It was just 3 and out, 3 and out, field goal. Like, bro, this Florida State clearly isn't the best team and our best top 4, so they made the right choice. I feel you on Georgia though. I think Georgia would have definitely gave Michigan a better game than Washington did
for sure.
And if let's say Georgia and Washington do play in that conference in that Sugar Bowl, whatever, I think Georgia comes out with that win.
Blowing them boys out.
And Washington got athletes. Horace Penix Jr., Heisman runner-up, first-round pick. They got the guys, but come on now. We all know it's about the trench play.
And they won back-to-back.
It's about exactly.
That's wrong.
I think what it boils down to, if Washington was a 13-1 team and not a 14-0 team, I think Georgia gets the nod. But with Washington being undefeated, winning the pack,
that's true.
I mean, you gotta put it. They still have their starting quarterback.
And I'd agree.
You had to put him in there. And Penix is good too. Heisman runner. You're looking at
they're still Power 5 conference.
Right. It's all those little things because you got to look. Georgia lost. They didn't win their division, and none of us at this table name who their starting quarterback is?
I can't.
Without Googling it, we don't know.
We don't know.
But we all know who Michael Penix is after what he did this year. So I see what the committee was doing. I definitely felt bad for Florida State. I don't know if y'all saw the reaction videos when they didn't get picked.
Dude was walking out.
Dude was walking out.
If it was my team, the coach had to be like, y'all sit back down.
Yeah, bro. People was walking out, man. They was out.
I felt so bad for them boys.
I'll be sick, bro.
Imagine winning every game possible that they have on your schedule. Winning your conference just to be like, y'all 5th place. I'd be sick.
I feel bad for Travis. Jordan Travis probably, man. He probably couldn't sleep that night.
I'd be sick.
If he doesn't get hurt, and Florida State that was my sleeper too.
Yeah.
Like I remember I was in LA watching Florida State play somebody.
They were playing Clemson.
I called Isaac. I remember I was like, bro, like Florida State, them boys defense click and offense. They got receiver Keon Coleman.
Yeah,
he's going first round.
He's raw.
He's a baller. They got another receiver. I think he wore a team number, tall dude. Like running backs was super nice. I'm like, bro, this Florida State squad could do something. And who were they playing? They was playing DeVry. Somebody random. Jordan Travis break his leg.
No, it was Northern Alabama.
Man.
They was playing Northern Alabama. He broke his leg. But it was 35-0. Why is he in the game?
Why is he even playing?
Like if we went up 28-0, I'm like, all right, you good, bro. It's North Alabama.
You playing the first quarter against them boys. Unfortunately, but
that's so true.
But man, we praying for Seminole Nation, man. I hope y'all lick your wounds this offseason and get back into it.
They'll bounce back. They'll be straight.
Speaking of
Travis
licking
has
wounds,
to come back, right?
Yeah, no, he's done.
He's done.
He's done.
Yeah, he was a senior. Like a 5th year.
Yeah, 5th year
He'll
senior.
get drafted. He'll get healthy and get drafted somewhere.
Because he was balling, man. I wasn't really a fan of him either until this season. But actually sitting back watching him, like, yo, Travis is a dude.
Dude is
He's
good.
balling.
Yeah, he's got he got a chance to do something, at the next level. Speaking of that, Isaac kind of touched on it earlier, man, but Nick Saban announced his retirement just the other day. Abruptly from Alabama. Definitely a shock to the football world. I mean, Bama has since he's been there, they've been great. Was it 6 national championships?
Yep. Was he 17 years?
17 seasons. I mean, he's one of them coaches. He has a statue in front of the building, in front of the stadium for the last 4 or 5 years. It's very rare you get a statue built for you while you're still living or operating in your purpose. You know what I mean? You usually bring that guy back in a wheelchair when he's 95 and show him, the statue. But it goes to show you how big of an impact he's made in not only Tuscaloosa, Alabama, but in college football as a whole. Definitely the end of an era. I know they've had all kinds of decommitments going on from Bama the last 24 hours and more still to come, I'm sure. Just people getting up out of there. Unfortunately, the news broke, I believe, yesterday morning that it's looking like his wife got diagnosed with dementia.
Yeah, I heard about
and that could be the possible reason why he's stepping away from the game. Shout out to Nick Saban, man. Shout out to Nick.
A real legend.
Yeah, absolutely. When he left LSU, which he did a phenomenal job at LSU, then he went to the NFL and realized you can't talk to the NFL people like you can talk to these college kids. He abruptly left Miami Dolphins and then, of course, landed at Alabama and ran off 17 great years there. And, and then the word on the street is the guy from Clemson. They're saying he might get the job, which I hope that does not happen.
Dabo?
Yeah, Dabo. He used to play there. And I hope that because Dabo's he's against the NIL situation. Doesn't want to see these kids get paid. And I think when I looked up Coach Dabo, his contract is for about 120 million, 130 million. I think he's due to make 11.5 million next year. And you don't want these kids to get broke off. Like, come on, man. You're living off the backs of these kids.
Yes.
Because it's the kids that are putting the people in the stadium, not you.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate your role as a coach and all of that good stuff, but you're living off the backs of these black kids.
Right. Yeah.
And I hate to put it out there like that, but it is what it is. So I ever since he came out and said he didn't like the NIL situation, I don't like him.
Right. Yeah, straight up. He want these college kids eating hot dogs and drinking the water out of afterwards.
Drinking the hot dog
water after the game. They just beat Alabama in front of 100,000 people. These dudes is
you gonna give them a box of pizza,
top ramen, box of pizza, eating bread and rice.
Right.
Come on, like here's some chicken Chick-fil-A and a cup of water. Like, come on, man.
I see what you're doing.
No, man, break these kids off. At the end of the day, these universities are making gazillions of dollars. Crazy. And they're not making it off the volleyball team.
And remember, I told you that stat: 68% of all the college finances come from football.
Almost 68%. Almost 70%.
If there was no football, they would have no campus.
Swimming is not doing it.
Yeah, they be having a man. They books be they books be. Oh, Eisenhower would have been president when they had to look at them books.
There would be a lot of schools shutting down.
Yeah, the badminton team.
Yes, the badminton. The rowing team. Rowing team ain't bringing them dollars.
Water polo ain't doing that.
No, what is it? Fencing.
Yeah,
fencing. Fencing team ain't bringing that in.
Badminton. Come on, bro.
Nah, man.
But a lot of people do throw around the word GOAT and legend, and this. Nick Saban is a real living legend. He is the GOAT for college football,
absolutely.
Especially at a program like Alabama with Bear Bryant. What he did for you to surpass Bear Bryant and then some, it's huge. And I saw a stat earlier. Nick Saban, he lost 29 games at Alabama and had 44 first-round picks. He had more first-round picks at Alabama than losses. That's a legend right there. So
that's insane.
Shout out to Nick Saban, because I was talking to Isaac about this too a couple weeks ago. When we were kids, playing the NCAA video game, I wasn't Alabama. Alabama was, I didn't even know, I knew Forrest Gump played there, straight up. I didn't, seriously, I didn't know as a kid. But, by the time I turned about 8, 9, 10 years old, that's when, Mark Ingram started coming through there, Julio Jones. All them, they started winning national championships. So, seeing them turn around, because when I was little, it was USC, Florida. Those were the schools. So to see Alabama go on a run from literally me from 9, 10 years old to me being 24, watch them a play away from going to the Natty.
A play away.
Literally a play away from going to the Natty again. So,
again.
Saban is a guy who, walked in his purpose and did it at the highest level. And a guy who, he's a stand-up guy too. Of course, he played corner at, where did he go? He went to
somewhere.
I couldn't even tell you.
He went to a D1 school. So he actually played cornerback. Was actually nice too. So
he was like the actual last white cornerback.
He was actually nice. He was nice. Okay. And so he was. Wow. So a guy like
Nick Saban was out there getting beat deep.
Toast. No, but so of course Nick Saban, football mind, worked his way up. Won a championship at LSU. Won 6 at Alabama. Like I said too, 44 first-round picks, 29 losses, 6 national championships at Alabama. So shout out to Nick Saban, man. It was a hell of a run.
Can anybody else do that?
No, man.
Not right now.
We might. I don't know if we'll see it again in our lifetime. To be honest,
it's gonna be tough.
The
closest to it was homeboy from Georgia. What's his name?
Kirby Smart.
Yeah, Kirby Smart. I mean, he could, but
he was a mentee
of. He was the
Saban.
DC out there. And another thing too, real quick. I think another reason why Saban left, of course, because of his wife too. But I think another thing is the NIL deal and just the way that college football is heading. This isn't no. The portal. This isn't like I'm gonna go to Alabama. This isn't I'm gonna go to Alabama because this is the best coaching. This
I'm gonna get my education.
This is gonna get me best education. Oh, not Alabama, but Sorry, I'm not trying to talk about the state of Alabama, but you know what I mean. It's no more reputation. It's no more. This coaching's good. This is gonna get me to the next level. Now it's where can I make the money at?
Where's the bread?
Yeah. Where's the money at? I'm going to Los Angeles. I'm going to New York. I'm going to Florida. I'm not going to Alabama. Yes,
I'm not going to Clemson in South Carolina. Like what's out there? You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna go see what's. It's no more. It's not about developing your professional skills. It's marketing. It's how can I make the money? So I think Saban saw that for what it is. And said, you know what?
Let me just step away.
Let me go out on the high. Close to winning it all, but
all these OGs are transitioning. Saban is in his 70s. Pete Carroll's in his 70s. Bill Belichick is in his 70s. I mean, so it's just time.
Why can't our politicians hang it up too? What about that?
Politicians ain't ever gonna hang it up.
Why can't they want that power? They want that power.
Sleepy Joe is what, 82, I think.
How old is Donald Trump? 70 something. Like why can't our politicians say, you know what? Let me about early 70s. Let me hang it up.
Maybe coaching football is a harder job to being the president. I don't know.
It's that power trip.
Right. I'm playing.
Man, I don't know. Them X and O's get a little tricky. We're hungry,
bro.
Imagine fighting a war every week against a new opponent.
Yeah, exactly. New opposition.
It's a lot of schemes. It's a big game of chess.
It's a lot of it, man. But shout out to Nick Saban, man. Job well done, sir. Wish you well in retirement.
Yeah, man.
And also praying for your wife as well, man. If that's true about the dementia situation, I know that's a tough diagnosis to have, and so we'll be praying
happy retirement.
Her strength in the Lord, and you can enjoy your latter years with her, man, and enjoy the grandkids. Your grandkids ain't seen you on a Saturday in 17 plus years.
What's your name again?
They have not seen you. What's your name? What y'all like to do?
What y'all be doing?
What's your birthday?
You have not seen your grandkids on a Saturday in years, so enjoy that, sir, and it'll be great.
Yeah, real talk.
Speaking of, just to change another, to switch gears, another what in the world topic, since we're talking about children. On yesterday, on the 11th, it was Human Trafficking Awareness Day here in America. There's a whole situation I saw on Instagram on the 11th on that morning. And understanding that human trafficking is an actual thing that's going on in the world. I know a lot of you have heard about the Epstein documents that just dropped. Jeffrey Epstein was an individual that was an evil individual who passed away as of late from a suicide situation a couple years ago. But there is a whole slew, you can Google the information, but there's a whole slew of trash that this guy was involved in. Wow. He had his own private island off the coast of St. George, I believe it was. Where they had young children that were actually working as sex slaves for a lot of prominent leaders, actors, performers in the world that lived on that or that visited that island to have interactions with children, in a sense. The documents have just released not too long ago where they're talking about certain people with certain big names. One of them I'll mention is Bill Clinton, which is president of the United States, that was mentioned to be at that island and is once again accused of enjoying little girls, which is completely evil and absurd. Once again, these are accusations. I wasn't there, so I can't tell you what really happened. But these are the things that are coming out. There's a slew of other individuals' names that are being dropped as well. But just not even to shed light on those individuals, man, what's something that we can do in our generation or with our kids to prevent them from ever experiencing something like being kidnapped and human trafficked and becoming a quote-unquote sex slave? What is something that y'all would do?
You know what we need to go back to doing, bro? Stranger danger. Do y'all remember that in school?
Oh, yeah.
They don't do that no more. No. That's what I heard.
Really?
They don't do that no more. Stranger danger. And I feel like that's basically like, I don't know. We just need to be aware. If we're not aware of something, then we can't stop it. But at least you can bring that awareness into schools so that people can be like, okay, this is a little interesting. This is different. This is out of the ordinary. And I feel like if we just go back to that, that can prevent it. And also another thing, this is kind of off the wing, but I feel like what we could do is try to have more like detectives on it. I feel like it's almost like not cared about because those names you dropped are people who are higher up.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But if you take the names out of it and just be like, hey, treat them like a normal civilian, I feel like we'd like catch that more. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know if y'all saw that movie Sound of Freedom.
I saw it last week.
Yeah, that movie was very good. Super dope. We need to do more stuff like that. It's about this guy who goes to different countries and stuff, and he set up a big old child trafficking bust, and he busted like the biggest human trafficking in what was it, Colombia or something like that? Honduras. Yeah, we need to go back to doing stuff like that. Like honestly, yeah. And then stranger danger, of course.
Yeah. I think our system should put more dollars into doing stuff like that, which you just made mention of, because it's unfortunate. And there was a lot of people on that list. There was a lot of other names as well. I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, Bill Gates was on that list.
Who's my guy? He was a
paraplegic.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Stephen Hawking. He was on that list.
I mean,
a lot of prominent names on there.
We got some sick people, man. I'll tell you what. I've said this in my pulpit before. If you're gonna do wrong right. There's a right way to do wrong. You know, we're not condoning adultery or fornication, but I'd rather you go forward an adult individual. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You know, but to take advantage of kids that are very vulnerable and not of age, it's just, to me, it's just sick. And I always say there's a difference between being weak and wicked, and what some of these people were doing is just very wicked,
right?
You know, and it's so unfortunate that we still got people like that are in this world that are slimy like that. But we got to do a better job too of what upbringing with our kids, and Proverbs 22:6 says, "Train up a child in the way that they should go, and when they get old, they won't depart." So we got to do a better job of really pouring into our kids and encouraging our kids and growing our kids up with morals and values and whatnot. I think too That'll be a big help. And then we got to just be aware, because I know some of these kids were kidnapped. You know, we don't want to be fearful, but we need to be aware of our surroundings. Even before we started the podcast today, we were talking to 4 of the different ladies that are on our staff. Isaiah and I were talking to them, and they were telling us how late at night when they go to parking lots that they literally have to be on the swivel, you know, because, you know, back at Mills Mall here in Tempe, there was men under the car, and when the lady would come to the car to open up their door, they would slice their Achilles tendon and then kidnap them. They said that went on for, I think, 6 years.
Yeah, it kept happening.
Oh, my God.
Unfortunately. And that was their way of getting, because, you know, once that goes.
You can't even run, you can't walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they would, you know, take them over to Mexico and human trafficking.
And a lot of them we still can't find. Bro. You know, they're still out there.
Just stuff like that.
Me personally, I think that a way to curve this, I think we got to bring back the electric chair, man. We got to bring back.
I agree.
On everything.
We got to bring back waterboarding, castration, the brazen bull.
I'm all for castration.
I'm for castration.
I'm all for castration.
I'm for castration.
We got that's a gun war. I don't know, man. But no, on a serious note, straight up, I feel like you know, I love the fact that, you know, these people are being exposed for their wrongdoings. I'm very. That's one thing I feel like. People like saying the names. I love the fact that the names are out. You know,
right.
I don't like these people living in, you know, behind these masks and thinking that it's all sweet because they do have money or they do have influence or some type of, you know, level of prominence or dominance.
Yeah,
they shouldn't know. I'm sorry. I feel like money has made a lot of these people ill, and a lot of people are just ill already. Money or no money, these same people would be in these rooms. They would be doing this, and you know. Of course, us being not only men of God, but, you know, stand-up men that, you know, want to help the future generation, want to help kids, not scar kids. I think the way that we can go about this is, you know, education, like Isaac said, you know, stranger danger, telling your kids straight up, hey, you know, you feel don't go to the car this way. You feel something weird, run. You know, get your phone, call the police, call me. You know, there's other ways to get around it. So, you know, that's one of my biggest fears, honestly. Just, you know, with my family, future family, and family now is just dealing with, you know, some weird stuff like that, because it happens, and you might not think it's you might not think it might not hit your front door, but it does happen to people. Regular people out here get targeted, get trafficked, and you know, I think it's just education, and you know, also too, you know, if I was a woman, also exercising that Second Amendment right, straight up, you know, maybe having some pepper spray, you know, maybe taking a little self-defense class, something, because you know, guys will try to use their brute strength. You know, men are naturally stronger than men. They're going to try to, you know, grab you, like you said, slice their Achilles, stuff like that. You know, it's ways they can try to do it, but, you know, all you can do is just be educated and also have it in the back of your mind, you know, that if something does happen, you know, solutions. So
again, like Pastor said, like, it's not being fearful, but it's just being aware, keeping that in the back of your mind, you know. So
yeah, and all that stuff is great, man. And like I grew up in the '90s. Stranger danger was a big deal. You didn't talk to nobody that you ain't know. You know, if you're not my parents, if you're not my family, I can't talk to you. And we knew that. You told us that from a young age.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that people aren't having conversations like that anymore. We live in a world where you get access. You can talk. A kid can have a phone and make a friend in China tomorrow. You know, if you got your phone, a cellular device, or social media, it's not hard to just start talking to somebody. And that's how a lot of these people get kidnapped. They meet somebody online, or they meet somebody on Twitter or Instagram, whatever it may be, and, you know, let's meet up. And when you meet up with them, it's a whole grown man that's trying to take advantage of you and take you somewhere in the jungle. You know what I mean? And so it's just being aware, making sure that parental controls are on your kids' stuff, because it starts with your kids. You know,
that's another good method.
It's you. The only thing you have responsibility for are your children. So you got to educate them and keep them up on, you know, 10. My girls are very selective. I have 2 daughters. They're very selective on who they talk to, and it's for a reason. I tell my daughters, hey, if you don't know them, you don't talk to them. You don't have to talk to them. You know, if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to say hi. You don't have to give everyone a hug. And, you know, we work here, you know, at the church, and we love all of our people here at the church. And people want to hug my kids, which is cool. But if my kid doesn't want to hug you, I'm not going to force them to hug you. Because once again, I'm trying to do my best to prevent them from being too familiar with unfamiliarity. You know what I mean? There's a way to protect your kids and letting them know, like, hey, if you feel uncomfortable, it's okay to feel that way. You know, I can't say, no, push past that and just go hug Sister Johnson. If you don't feel like it in that moment, that's fine. Don't be disrespectful. But at the same time, I'm not going to allow my kids get familiar with unfamiliarity. because that's when the wolves come in. You know, because they know Layla and Jada. Oh, they're gonna give me my hug because that's Layla and Jada.
Yeah, where my hug
and they're part of the first family. And they're listen. I know it's at the end of the day, I've got to protect mine. That's my job as a man right now. My job is to protect them. Up until when they become grown and gone and they have a husband, that's on him now. You know what I mean? But until then, I'm the pappy, as they said on Life. Until then, I'm gonna do my best to protect my children and keep them aware and let them know. You don't let no random man touch you or grab you or tell you what to do. You come. You need to go talk to my daddy about that. Oh, my dad said he wants you to. Oh, you want me to get something out of your car? Oh, you got to go talk to my dad about that. You know, like little things like that is protection for your children, sons and daughters. Both sons and daughters. And so that's the best way I can prevent in my way to keep my kids from getting human trafficked. And I hope if we have more adults that are more concerned and more involved in their kids' lives, we could have a little bit less of the casualties. Because a lot of times it's just parents not paying attention.
That's what it is.
Parents not paying attention. You know, you got to look at it like that. Even that movie Isaac was mentioning, The Sound of Freedom, the way they got the kids where they said, hey, we're going to have a talent show or a talent recruiting thing for you. Bring your kids here. They're going to get famous. And he brought his 2 kids to the hotel room and looked around and saw other kids in there. And they're like, all right, sir, we'll call you at 7 p.m. You can come back and pick them up.
Man, them kids was...
And he got in his car and left. And when he got back to the hotel, the kids were gone.
They were gone.
They were gone. Little stuff like that. I'm like, why would you ever leave your children with someone that you do not know?
That's terrible.
You do not know.
That's crazy.
That's insane to me. And so half of the movie, I was mad at the dad.
Hey, for real.
I ain't gonna lie, I was pissed off.
I'm
like, this idiot. This dude dropped his kids off at a hotel with some people he did not know, left. And came back 10 hours later to come and get them.
They're gone.
I didn't feel bad for him when he was crying in the street. I ain't gonna lie.
Man.
But it's unfortunate that it happened. But at the same time, we gotta be smarter as parents, as adults, as leaders. Protect what's yours. You don't just walk away and leave your kid with any old body.
You don't do that.
You don't do that. You don't do. And stop letting your kids ride home with any old body. You know, little stuff like that. I think the only cars my children, they're 5 and 3. Only cars my kids have ridden in are mine and his.
Facts.
And I love my brothers, but have they rode with y'all yet?
No. One time, in the back.
Only the twins rode with me.
So Ira tried to kidnap my kids once. But it's not that I don't trust my brothers. I'm just really selective because it's not that I don't trust them as drivers. I don't trust everybody on the road, number one. And number 2, I got to protect what's mine. I got to make sure that my kids are comfortable. They're in higher sitting cars. They've got certified seat belts.
They told me, they said, Uncle, why is your car so small? Sorry, I ain't got the Grim Reaper like Zay, man.
We gonna ride high on 38 inches. We gonna ride high because at the end of the day, I'm gonna take my chances in my vehicle with my babies than being in a convertible. You know what I mean? A Corvette.
Absolutely.
I got to protect what's mine.
Absolutely. I hear you. And I'm with you on that because as a fathers, we have a responsibility to do 3 things: provide, protect, and be present.
That's it.
We need to be present. If I know it's just fictional, the movie, you know.
No, that's a true story.
It was a true, based on a true story.
That's a true story, sir.
This is a true story.
That's why I was hot.
Oh my.
This really happened.
You got to check
You
it out.
left your kid there for 10. This is a true story.
This
I
is a
didn't know
true
that.
story. They even show the real footage at the end of them busting everybody.
That father needs to be beat with a stick.
That's why
I'm sorry. Now I'm really mad. I'm thinking this is.
So let's castrate the guys that are taking them and beat the parents.
Beat the parents with a stick.
You left your kid somewhere for 10 hours with somebody you didn't know?
Didn't know. Just bounced.
Yeah, he legit dropped them off.
I've been a father for 31 years.
Yeah.
And you guys know I was very particular about where you spent the night.
I didn't get it.
Man.
I didn't play that.
Man. No, you didn't play that.
I disappointed y'all a whole lot in your childhood. Because I was very particular about where I allowed you to go.
Absolutely.
Because I understand that 1 out of 3 girls get molested and 1 out of 5 boys get molested.
Crazy.
And so I couldn't let that happen on my watch because I know me. My kingdom assignment would have probably been finished in prison. and not over here at 11640 North 19th Avenue.
Right. It would have been Kingdom in the Celly.
You're right, exactly. Exactly. I had a bomb prison ministry. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you guys know I was very particular about where you guys spent the night.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. And
so
as
it
a kid,
was few far
and there were times I'd be mad at you, but Dad, this is my boy. This is my homie. His parents are good people. And you'd be like, nah, I don't know his parents.
They can come here. They can
come here.
They can
come here.
Yeah.
Yep. But I'd have to, there was a lot of friends I had to disappoint, and I didn't understand it until I became a man. I said, you know what? That's protection.
Same here.
And I'm the same way with my kids.
I'm thinking you hating. I'm like, man, little Johnny, Johnny got the new Halo.
Right.
I'm trying to go there. Nah, you can't go there. I'm like,
I will
what?
let y'all go to Coach Gary's
Yeah.
and Coach Rico.
Yeah. And then
Coach
Coach Rick.
Rick.
And you notice they were all coaches.
They're all coaches.
Yeah, all
guys
coaches.
that I had a rapport with, fathers that I knew.
And they went to the church.
And they went to, and so they were all solid.
They were all solid dudes.
Yeah, even you with the, what was the Hispanic guy? Used to spend the night over there all the time.
Junior.
Yeah, Junior, and then the other Hispanic kid, his parents got divorced, and his dad was coming here for a little while with his new wife.
Fritz.
Yeah, Fritz.
My boy Fritz.
Yeah, so,
but you knew the
but
parents.
I knew the parents.
And another thing, too, Mom would always do this. Oh, you're going to their house to go play? That's cool. Do they have a gun in the house?
Mom would say
that.
that.
Mom would always be adamant. Do they have a gun in the house? And if they did, she'd be like, no. Now, that's a little bit extreme because nowadays 99% of homes have a gun. But there was a lot of foul play going on. I lost one of my homies at 12 playing with a gun. Accidentally shot himself in the shoulder.
Yeah, Jesse was his name?
Yeah. I got RIP to my boy. Passed away, 12 years old. I was playing with him the day before it happened. So it's like stuff like that back then. Gun control was a big deal. But still, asking your kids these questions are important. Where are they going? Who are they are? Go inside and meet the parents. Look around. Make sure they got roaches.
Do they have older siblings? Do they have a cousin living there? Do they have let me look around. Let me smell the house.
Even my man Daniel. Remember, Mom was always hanging out with Daniel's mom. They always hung out. So that's why we got comfortable. Mom let me stay there with them. You know, Mom walked around the house, met everybody.
Even I remember you came to me at the park in the Greenbelt, and you were like, "Hey, Dad, I want you to meet my friend Cedric." And remember, I went to the house to meet his dad.
Sure did.
And I so happened to go to high school with him.
That's right.
So I'm like, you
spend the night over here anytime. Hang out.
But I had an instance when I was like 13 or 14. I met a kid out at the pool named DJ. Met him at the public pool, hung out, had a good time. He's like, man, I'm going to come to your house. I was like, okay, yeah, come over. Came over, helped me get the groceries out the car. I remember this like yesterday. And I was like, all right, man, so what you going to do? He said, man, I talked to my mom. She said I could spend a night. Right away at 13, I said, Negro, I just met you.
Right.
And your mom
has not met
has
your mom.
Never met me, never met my parents, don't know where we living, and they said that you could spend a night. Oh, they don't love you.
Yeah,
they must not love you because ain't no way Kelly and Reggie Steele gonna let me just pop up someone I met that day spend the night at the house.
That's not gonna pop up.
I was so shook by that. I was 13, like, duh, that's weird. That's weird.
Bizarre.
That's not good. You know what I mean? But I say all that, and we all say that all to say we are against the human trafficking. We wanted to do our best to make sure we're doing our part to make sure that ours don't end up like that. And we hope that individuals out there in the world, you can do that same thing. You know, be smart about it. Ask questions. You know, your kid, just because they 16 with the phone don't mean they grown. You better ask them who they talking to.
Don't be friends with your kids. You're still a parent. You're still a parent.
You got it. You
still have the final say so.
Absolutely.
We even had a situation at our church probably 13, 14 years ago where the mother was upset with the 12-year-old daughter because she didn't want to go see her 8 and 7-year-old sisters cheer. So she's like, well, since you don't want to go with us to see them cheer, get your phone. Took her phone, the 12-year-old's phone, started going through the phone at the cheer game and realized a 32-year-old man had been texting her. And saying, I can't wait to have sex with you and da-da-da-da. So the father called me and said, hey, man, I'm about to go kill this cat. I said, listen, I want to go kill you. I want to go with you and kill him as well. I said, but we're going to call 911 right now.
Absolutely.
I don't want you to go to prison. And so that's what we did. And that gentleman wound up going to prison.
Good.
As he should. And I saw some of the text messages that this 32-year-old was saying to this 12-year-old. Listen, that's why I'm all about the electric chair.
Yeah, man.
Let's bring it back.
Pull it out the closet. We got to put that chair back out. With the straps, bro.
Don't wet the sponge.
Don't wet the sponge. We Green Miling folk out here.
Straight up. Well, we going to bring them out. But Dred's gonna be sticking up.
Well, we Green Mile and folk out here.
We bringing them back. We gotta bring them back.
I think we bring that back. I think people would think twice.
Yeah,
crime will curve.
Man.
Yeah.
Show it live.
Yeah.
Tune in, channel 36.
Breaking news.
This evening, we are electrocuting 10 people at the same time.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. We gonna do a Patreon.
Click that notification bell for the next time we have an electrocution.
Like Netflix. That's gonna be a shock flex something. I don't know.
Man. Let's go. Let's jump right into Sunday recap.
All right, we'll recap because it's been a long show, but it's been good. Number one, well, I talked about on New Year's Eve that 2024 will be the year of the open door.
Yes.
And the three things that I broke down on New Year's Eve is number one, you got to be able to handle adversity. Because the scripture says in 1 Corinthians 16:9, it says, a great and effective door has been opened to me, but there will be many adversaries. So anytime God is going to open doors, there's going to be a little bit of resistance that's going to come, challenges, and that's a sign that you're right at the edge of your blessing, is when you begin to experience some level of maybe backlash or disappointment. That's why you have to continue to persevere. So the first thing I talked about, in order for you to experience open doors in 2024, is that you have to be able to handle adversity. Even the Bible says in 1 Peter 4:12, it says to not think it strange concerning fiery trials. Not only that, Romans 5:3 tells us to glory in tribulation, for tribulation worketh patience, and patient experience hope. The second thing I talked about was that in order for God to open doors, you got to have a prayer life. It was not until Paul and Silas, when they were in prison, when they began to pray, the Bible says suddenly there was an earthquake that took place, and then doors began to open for them, and people were loosed of their chains, and so on and so forth. And don't forget, Isaiah 59:1, it says that God's ear is not heavy, that he cannot hear, nor is his hand short, that he can't save. And I ended it by saying the last thing is that you got to have vision, that if you really want God to open up doors for you in 2024, you have to have vision. Even Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2, it says to write the vision and make it plain. One of the things that's really made my spirit leap this year is I encourage people on Wednesday and Sunday to bring their goals and their visions, and then I would pray over them. And they're in my office right now, and I've been thumbing through them and just seeing some of the people's goals. Even some of the simplest things. Somebody said, my goal is in 2024 is just, I want to be focused.
That's good.
That's good.
And that made my spirit leap. So guess what? I've been praying for that individual. Lord, let them be focused in 2024, because it's so easy to lose your focus. I mean, look at the world that we live in.
Man,
look at the stuff that's going on. It's so easy to lose your focus. But I love Hebrews 12:2. It says, looking unto God, who's the author and the finisher of our faith. That word looking, what it denotes, it means giving him your undivided attention. So I want to encourage you to stay focused in 2024. I've said this for years. Don't focus on what you're going through. Focus on where you're going to.
That's great. That's good. That's great. One of the biggest things that jumped out to me is handling adversity. I tell you what, I've been alive for 31 years now, and every year I've had to handle some type of adversity. In your life. That's just part of living. It comes with the territory of having a pulse and having breath in your body. This being the year of the open door, God's going to do some great things, but there's also some doors that we got to close in our lives in order for new ones to open. And so whatever it is that you got going on personally in your life, something that you know, you need to go ahead and shut the door on that, close that chapter, so God can open up something new for you. I think it's going to be great, but you got to handle the adversity that comes with just the thing of life that you have. I mean, it's just, it comes with it, but you're going to be able to maintain it and control it in 2024 as we grow and mature in Christ. I'll tell you what, right when you said open door, my spirit leaped, because I had just thought about probably a week prior, man, what's the theme going to be? Because, you know, he never tells us.
You don't tell us
until that night. And so I was like, Lord, tell me before you tell him. Like, I just want to know. Obviously, it was something totally different, but it was along the same guidelines of new opportunity.
Oh, wow.
New beginning, that type of deal. So that all reflects into the open door. And man, I'm excited for it. It's going to be great.
That's dope. That's dope. What jumped out to me was having a prayer life. I don't know about y'all, but prayer still works. 110%. I know y'all do prayer every Tuesday, 8:30 in the morning. Prayer really works, man. I've been through some things Been through some things in college, still dealing with things now, and I prayed, and it really helps. Yeah, we all fall short of the glory of God, don't get me wrong, but afterwards when you pray, it gives you so much clarity, and it gives you peace, and prayer still works. It says meditate on his word day and night. You know what I'm saying? That's if you meditate on his word and pray his word back to him,
that's right.
God will definitely open doors for you.
That's
so that really jumped out to me. And this year, that's my New Year's resolution, is I want to be a praying warrior. I really do.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. Powerful.
No, exactly.
Powerful.
Prayer that's a key thing because especially to combine what both of y'all said, praying during adverse times, through adverse situations. A lot of people are praying for good things to happen, but you should, or if good things are happening, they're praising God, thank you, talking. But no, you got to take the good with the bad. Right. Bad days are going to come. It's going to be storms. It's going to be a lot that happens in this world, but it's going to get you up for the open door. And it was great that you called it that this year, for the theme. I had a lady open a door for me at the Starbucks. I said, man, that's going. I hate me. I said, man, I got the vision. Pastor said it's going to be your open door. But now, like Zay said, we don't know every year. So coming into New Year's, it's always like, man, it's dope. Like even in December, I'm like, damn, I wonder what the theme is.
I wonder what it is.
Like give me a hint, Father, let me see, give me a little dime, tell me something. But nah, he always keeps it in.
Yeah.
And of course, I released it. We learn what the theme is along with the church, which I love because it's not just a staff thing we coming up with. It's truly from him and from God.
Right.
So he releases the theme and we're all taking it in. So just turning up your prayer life, of course, and praying through adverse times and going, just taking the good with the bad. Like I said, taking the bad with the good. That's all you really can do in this lifetime. And doors open, and you just gotta make sure when they do open, you go with a full head of steam.
Yeah. Right. And I want to say one more thing.
Good.
Don't pray when you need something too.
Exactly.
Pray when things are going good in your life. Pray when God has been blessing you. Pray for other people.
Right.
That's huge to me. And that's something I've learned too. No, it's just here recently, but I've learned that too. And you got to pray in adverse times, and you got to pray when times are going good.
Absolutely. Even last night, after we got done with midweek, a gentleman came up to me and showed me on his phone that he was offered a job, and it was a 6-figure job.
Wow.
And he gave me the evidence. I'm talking, we're what, 10, 11 days into the year.
Right.
And my spirit just began to leap, and I just began to rejoice with him after church on
that's
last
great.
night.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he's a faithful leader here, too.
That's awesome.
But he was like, Pastor, 6-figure. Wow. He said, I've never made 6-figure in my life. He said, I'm taking the job.
Yeah,
I said,
man.
Real talk. And that was just last night. So, and we're just 10, 11 days into the year. So, so as a pastor, I know I heard from God because you guys know how serious I take these things. Like you said, I don't get with our staff and like, what do y'all think God is saying in 2024?
What sounds good for the people to hear? What sounds like good for a shirt?
Right. Yeah, no. I wanted to come directly from the heavens.
Right.
And all 19 that we've had have directly come from Him. So I really believe it. I know we're in the beginning of the year, but we're going to see so many open doors that are going to manifest here in 2024.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
It's just the beginning. Hey, listen. Speaking of just the beginning, want to wish you a happy new year. It's a great time, great opportunity for you in 2024. Make sure that you go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, the notification bell every time we drop a new podcast. Still Strong Podcast, season number 2. We wish you all well. Have the best week of your life, and we'll see you soon.
Blessings.
Peace.